Hello everyone and welcome back to geoseo labs. I hope you're doing great. Have you ever wondered how Google discovers millions of new web pages every single day? Before your website can rank on Google, it first needs to be found, crawled and indexed. But how does Google actually do that? In today's video, we'll take a behind the scene look at how Google crawls website, how Googlebot works, and what you can do to make sure your website gets discovered faster. Whether you are a business owner, an SEO professional, or just curious about how search engine works, this video will give you a clear understanding of one of the most important parts of SEO. So let's get started. Every time you search on Google, you receive results within seconds. But have you ever thought about how Google knows those pages even exist? Before Google can rank any web page, it has to discover it, visit it, understand it, and store it in its database. This entire process begins with a crawling. Think of crawling as Google's way of exploring the internet. In this video, we'll understand exactly how this process works and how you can make your own website easier for Google to discover. The internet is enormous. There are hundreds of billions of web pages online, and new pages are being created every second. Google's mission is to organize all of this information and make it searchable for users. Instead, it uses automated programs called crawlers. These crawlers continuously explore the website looking for new pages, outdated content, and changes across existing websites. That's why crawling is the very first step in becoming visible on Google. Googlebot is Google's automated web crawler. You can think of it as a digital librarian. Its job is to travel from website to website, discovering new pages and checking whether existing pages have changed. Today, Google primarily use its smartphone crawler because most people browse the internet on mobile devices. This means Google usually evaluates your mobile website before your desktop version. If your website doesn't work on well on mobile, it can directly affect your visibility in search results. Every web page goes through three important stages before it can appear in Google search. The first stage is discovery. Google finds your page through internal links, backlinks, sitemaps, or previous crawls. Next comes fetching. Here Googlebot downloads the page and reads its content. Finally comes rendering. During rendering, Google executes JavaScript and loads the page almost like a real visitor would. This step is especially important for modern websites that rely heavily on JavaScript to display their content. While crawling your website, Googlebot isn't just looking at words. It analyzes several important elements. First is your content. Google reads your headings, paragraphs, images, and metadata to understand what the page is about. Next, it follows your internal and external links to discover additional pages. It also evaluates your website structure, including navigation, HTML hierarchy, and schema markup. Finally, Google measures page speed and core web vitals because fast websites provide a better user experience and are easier to crawl. Another important concept is something called crawl budget. Crawl budget simply refers to how many pages Google is willing to crawl on your website within a certain period. For smaller websites, crawl budget usually isn't a concern. But for websites with thousands of pages, managing crawl budget becomes extremely important. Google decides this based on two things: how quickly your server responds and how important or frequently updated your pages are. Faster, healthier websites encourage Google to crawl more pages and more often. Website owners can also control what Google crawls. One way is through a file called robots.txt. This file tells Googlebot which sections of your website it should avoid crawling. Another method is using the noindex tag. Unlike robot.txt, noindex allows Google to crawl the page but tell it not to include that page in search results. These tools are extremely useful, but they should be used carefully. Accidentally blocking important pages could remove them from Google search entirely. So how can you help Google crawl your website more efficiently? First, submit an XML sitemap through Google Search Console. This helps Google discover all your important pages. Next, fix broken links and unnecessary redirect chains because they waste scroll resources. Improve your website speed to create a better experience for both users and Googlebot. Finally, use clean, logical URLs that clearly describe your content. Small improvements like these can significantly improve crawl efficiency. Even well-designed websites can experience crawling issues. Some pages may never get indexed because they're blocking by noindex or robo.txt. Server errors can prevent Googlebot from accessing your content. Orphan pages with no internal links are difficult for Google to discover. Another common issue is JavaScript rendering. If Google can't properly render your page, it may miss important content. That's why regularly checking Google Search Console is essential for identifying and fixing problems. Let's quickly summarize today's lesson. Google can only rank pages that it can first discover and understand. Make your website easy to crawl by creating a clear structure, improving speed, fixing broken links, and submitting XML sitemaps. Use robot.txt and noindex carefully and regularly monitor your website through Google Search Console. Understand how Google crawl website is one of the strongest foundation of technical SEO. The better Google understand your website, the better your chances of achieving strong search visibility. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to geoseo Lab, and turn on notification for more practical videos on SEO, AI search, GEO, and digital marketing. We'll see you in the next video.